This video includes spoilers for the MCU, including all of Secret Invasion. I don't think that the MCU is dead or even dying, but I am noticing that I am disappointed more and more than I was before. I think part of this was going to happen naturally. Starting from really Civil War, we had some really good stories that only worked because they had been built up over the years. Individual characters being built up that meet each other. I mean, if Ant-Man was just introduced in Civil War with no context, it wouldn't have meant the same. We have established the world and the characters and gained an emotional attachment to them. These films would not have worked if they were in Phase 1. Then film after film, the same thing, just keep building up that emotional connection. With Endgame, the MCU required a soft reboot, and in spirit, we are back in Phase 1, introducing new characters and re-establishing the rules of the universe. So some letdown was going to happen after Endgame, but I think it's a little bit more than that. Secret Invasion, which just finished, is a good example. This really could have been a great show, and I was really excited about it, but it was a letdown. I want to say right now that I don't think it was a terrible show. I'm not arguing that this is a bad show. Samuel L. Jackson was great, as well as that guy, that guy. I enjoyed some of the fight scenes, like the first climax in the first episode when they were in Russia that ended with the terrorist attack, and then the one with the president was a really fun fight sequence. It also has some interesting ideas about aliens being forced to live among another species and doing Fury's dirty work, though I think those ideas were not used enough. More on that later. This could have been more, and I think it missed the mark on two main points. The first thing the show missed is that the concept of a secret invasion was never fully utilized. What was great about the first episode's climax, the one in Russia, was the fact that you didn't know where the threat was coming from. Who is who? Who can I trust? Who is a Skrull and who is not? That should have been the whole series. It should have made me doubt every conversation, every piece of information gained. I think about Mission Impossible, where we have so many reveals of, no, this person is that person, and that person is this person. Secret Invasion should have been that 10 times more. I think about the movie Thing, and how there was just so much paranoia because we couldn't trust who is who. It should have been that, mixed with the suspense of Mission Impossible. Really, after the first episode, the only infiltration that were used were like 5 people in charge of things that really didn't affect the plot much. And Rhodey. I mean, I get where they were going for with the 5 guys. It was to communicate to the audience that the Skrulls had control of the media, of the government, of the military, etc. But they never used it fully. Oh, and Nick's wife, who we never met so we had no emotional connection with, was a Skrull. I mean, they just introduced her and were like, hey, it's a Skrull. She's been a Skrull the whole time. Isn't that shocking? It reminds me of that Doctor Who episode about the killing Hitler, where they introduced a friend and implied that she was there the whole time when she totally wasn't, and then just revealed that she was somebody else. And we were supposed to take that as some kind of built-up twist, when it really wasn't. The second thing that this should have been was Nick Fury's confronting his sins, which is what I wanted only after they had promised it to me.
This war is one I have to fight.
Living on the edge to the end of our lives, roof in the sheepskin telling me lies.
Alone.
This world is burning, and it was you who lit the match.
Time after time they said this was his fault, he says it too, but it never seems like that, and again, it goes nowhere. I think it's also funny that his sins seem so minor here that I even have to ask if they're worth talking about. I mean, he's done so much good with this system, and the Skrulls did benefit. What's funny is we've seen Nick Fury sin more in the past.
Recognize the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
Using the Tesseract as a weapon like Hydra, getting the data collection thing in Winter Soldier. Heck, even getting the Avengers together and releasing the Hulk is more questionable than semi-lying to space nomads while giving them homes. One of the things I liked about the show was the theme song, but I don't know, to me the theme promised a whole level of drama, trauma, and suspense the show never really follows through on. I mean, when did you feel this when watching the show? I don't know, but fine. Semi-lying to Skrulls is Fury's worst sin. What did he do to pay for it? At one point, we think he was admitting it and confessing in a cliché scene that was still kind of nice.
I failed you. I knew the only way for me to keep my end of the bargain was to build you a home here.
But nope, that was the one time they used the secret invasion trick. His confession meant nothing. Also, can I just say that they forgot about Mara Hill and her death? And that kind of really just upsets me. In the past, the MCU worked because it kept changing and embracing the genres. I have a whole other video about it, link to that below. This should have been a political thriller with a sci-fi element. Instead, it was just a lot of people sitting around talking. The show gave us really big stakes, like alien infiltration of the government and the Avengers DNA in one place, but it never followed through. So as I said, not a terrible show, not the worst thing I've ever seen, not even the worst MCU TV series, but one I will probably not remember long from now. I still have hopes for Loki Season 2. Thanks guys for listening, please like and subscribe. Bye.